I'm Nick Gale, 890 WLS News.
We had a great time at the Goombay Bash a couple of months ago in August. And for no small reason, my brother from a different mother, Terry Bradshaw, was on stage. Did a great, touching, heartfelt keynote.
Best keynote I've ever seen.
Yeah, about fighting cancer, which was the point of the whole night.
Yep.
Raised over $1 million. And Terry Bradshaw was nice enough to join us now because, it's not like it's football season or he's got anything going on. TB!
What's up, Steve and Andrea?
Hey,
how are you
Terry.
people doing?
You know, it's funny, dude. I was looking at the picture that we took of the three of us. We need to send this. We'll send this to your wife so you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta grab on Andrea like she just picked you off in your...
Now.
Well, Terry and I, we
listen,
have a deep
listen now.
admiration for each other.
No, it looks like you're the defensive back that picked him off and he's tackling you. Meanwhile...
We had a nice time.
Meanwhile, I look like the Uber driver leaning into the photo.
Terry, Steve looks like he's asking the photographer, what?
Well, actually, hey, look, we could have done without Steve in that picture.
100%.
Agree.
100%. Listen, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Yeah, I said it privately and personally and publicly. Let me just say it again. I think what you said that night was really important, and I think what you continue to say about your own personal battle with cancer is really important. So update us. How's your health?
Health is good. I'm in both cancers right now are gone. All I do is go back every, 4 months. I go back every 4 months. I go back to Yale for the bladder cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to MD Anderson for the Merkel cell, which is a rare form of skin cancer. So I do that at MD Anderson. So I go to one, and then I go to the other, and then you do all the work, blood work, scans that they do, and then you sit around and you go, okay, all right, Lord, am I good? I'm good. All right.
Man, you know what? It is God stuff. I mean, it really is God stuff.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, go ahead.
I'm telling you, if you're not a person of faith, you will get to be a person of faith simply when you realize that. I've always said this: cancer gets everybody. It seems like it does. My mother just recently died. She was 94. She never had a bout of that. My dad had it. My brother had it. I mean, yeah, some nasty stuff, man. It tears families apart. It brings tears. It brings joy. Well,
I mean, I'm thrilled to hear your news, and I know you talk about this everywhere you go with everybody you see, and everybody wants a selfie, and they want to know how you're doing. So great to hear the news. But in addition to that, it's important to say this. You're one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. The only reason Terry Bradshaw didn't play for the Chicago Bears was a frickin' coin flip. Mm-hmm. That's how he ended up in Pittsburgh and won 4 Super Bowls. That's a fact. You can look it up. But that currency in football is be the tough guy. And we as men, Terry, you know this, we're terrible patients. So don't be the tough guy. Listen to your body. And more importantly, listen to your wife when she's nagging you to go to the doctor.
Well, you know what? I've never had a problem going to the doctor. If I'm not feeling good or something's wrong, of course, my wife is like a doctor. She's a radiologist. She's smart as all get out.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
Wanted to be a doctor. And so I'll say, hey, I would have never found out a Merkel cell or the skin cancer. I kept complaining about a spasm in my neck from a injury I had to my spine.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, this thing is killing me. I can't get it to go away. She said, well, let's just go ahead and do an MRI. When they went in, and I said, well, it'll go away. It always goes away. No, we're going to go in. We'll do an MRI, basically, so you'll shut up. So we went in. We did the MRI. The doctor came back, and he goes, hey, you've got a mass in your left jaw, your throat. And I went, what? And they found that because my wife said, let's go and do it. And that ended up being the skin cancer. So I'm not opposed to it. I don't like needles. I never have liked needles. I can't stand needles.
Sure.
Even these little small, tiny, skinny. I want nothing to do with needles, which she gets a kick out of. Because she says, well, a lot of people say, well, you played that game. You played so tough.
Right.
You got hit and bashed around. I said, yeah, that was kind of the unexpected. That needle thing, that I know I'm about to. That is expected, and it's not going to feel good.
Jack Tatum wasn't carrying a syringe when he was coming after you on a blitz.
No, and I've got to tell you, man, about once a year I have to go have my back injected, and they put that needle on the top of your forearm. Well, is there any tougher skin
on the
top of a man's forearm?
Oh, man.
Or they go through the hand, and I'm going, oh, please, I'll give you anything. Please don't do that. Put it here. Well, we can't. You're going to be on your stomach. Oh, God, no, not the hand, not the forearm.
Sure.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, you got to be a strong human being to take something like that. That's some scary stuff.
Yeah, no, you got to be a warrior, and they're Acme Bugs Bunny Acme giant needles. They're like cartoon needles, so they're insane. Andrea and I have a question. Andrea.
What?
Okay. All right, Terry. I love, honestly, you're the best part of Monday Night Football, Sunday Football, any of the games. I love watching you, maybe because of our friendship. But I have to ask you, what do you see, and I ask this tenderly, did the Bears ever have a shot at contending again? We have a quarterback crisis. We have a team crisis right now. What can be done to save our Bears, our beloved Bears, for the sake of our beloved Dick Butkus?
Or do we take the franchise away?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to do that. You're a ways away from being a contender.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I like you broke it to us gently.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to be very careful here because I work at Fox, but I'm not sold on your quarterback. I'm not sold on your head coach at all.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right to me. Talk about the backup quarterback, whose name I can't recall right now.
Yeah.
No one can.
Bagent, no.
No, it's Tyson Bagent.
I only ask for the love of Dick Butkus, your guy, your buddy.
Yeah, I'm just not sold on it. Now, having been somewhat critical right there, let me just say this, and I've always said it, you cannot take a quarterback and not surround him with talent. You just can't. I don't care. If you took Tom Brady, as slow as he was running the 40-yard dash, and you put him with the worst team, he's not going to make the worst team better. He's just not. You have got to have time to go through progressions. You have to have people that are skilled enough to get away and separate from man-to-man and run through the zones, avoid jams, make the tough catches over the middle. You've got to have all of that going for you, similar to what they have in San Diego, similar to what they have. I tell you what, I just said all these things, and I'm thinking about that guy down in Houston,
Right.
Stroud, and I'm thinking, well, he's kind of made everybody play harder, hadn't he? He seems to buy a little time with his legs. He's accurate as all get out. He's a gamer. He brings teams from behind. Your guy doesn't do that, and that was a bad football team in Houston.
Yeah, and that
elevated. So he's elevated the confidence, and people are playing hard for him. I don't think that's the situation in Chicago. I would want to have, if I could take and give me a good offensive line, all right, and then I'm going to be coached properly on progressions and how to read coverages and things of that nature, blitzes, what fronts dictate to cover to defenses.
Sure.
Then you can evaluate a quarterback. You can evaluate it, but in your case, it's hard. It's just really hard unless you bring in another kid and he comes in there and does what Stroud did down in Houston. I'm just not sold on it.
Well, listen.
No, we're not either.
Not. 4-time Super Bowl winner, Terry Bradshaw. Not one, not two, not three. 4 of them. I know you've answered this question for years. Let me just throw one more Bears at you. Why didn't they win more? Why didn't that 85-86 team win more?
Oh, I think they lost their focus. I'm sorry to get my phone here. I know you can't hear me very well.
No, you're fine.
I think they lost their focus. you had Ditka and the defensive coordinator, Buddy Ryan. That was a division. That was a dividing factor. You had everybody writing books. You had everybody opening restaurants.
Yep.
Everybody was in Chicago, and rightfully so, was so thrilled with that 85 Bears team. I just think they lost their focus. They just got out there and all of a sudden had to go to training camp, and it's kind of what happened to the Rams after they won their Super Bowl. They got out there, and next thing you know, the following season comes, and they go, I'm not ready quite to match this intensity, and It takes a while. So I think they just lost their focus, because I've said this many times. You cannot tell me that 85 Bears team didn't deserve or shouldn't have won at least one more, and more than likely been a repeat, because that defense was nasty, man, and Jim McMahon was nasty. And it was just such a great team, and for them to only win one is, that's kind of they can't be real proud of.
It's
that.
one of the great missed opportunities of all time, and tough guys like
absolutely.
Hampton and Hall of Famers like Hampton and those guys, they know it. They know it. They live with it every day. Andrea.
Terry, you never got sacked by Butkus. Who was your hardest hit of all time? Who hit you the hardest?
Oh, that's a good question. Who put you on your backside harder than anybody else?
I got the worst injury was, and also the most painful was in Cleveland. Joe Jones picked me up and slammed me on the top of my head, and I had paralysis for about 30 hours. And
wow!
Doctors coming in, running needles in my legs, and I'm sitting there on a board. And back then there was no MRIs or anything, so when they took me off the field, they put me on a door. Took a door off.
An actual door.
And get this, and sat me on some horse things that you saw wood off of. They laid me on the top of those things outside the dressing room. All right.
Oh.
Then they took me.
Modern medicine, boys and girls.
And then they took me to the airport on the door.
On the door.
And then put me on the top of two seats and got me in on the top of two seats on the plane back to Pittsburgh. And then the ambulance met us at the plane and took me to the hospital.
And at what point did they start bleeding you with leeches? Was that the same flight or was that a different flight?
I'm telling you. And then it's kind of comical now. But after, like I said, I don't know, about 30 hours or so of needle pushing, then the feelings started coming back.
Wow.
And get this, 4 weeks later, I started.
Wow.
No.
Well, you know what? But that brings up look, I think Terry Bradshaw would agree. He'll tell me if he doesn't. It's hard to be a quarterback now. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster.
Yeah.
But quarterbacks had no protection.
No.
There was no flags being pulled out every time a quarterback. You run by a quarterback now and look at him the wrong way and hurt his feelings.
Right.
A flag's coming out.
Well, I'm glad they're protecting them. You're right. It was a different game, and I'm glad they're protecting them. I saw it last night when Joe Burrow went out of the game, Tammy, and I turned the TV off and went to bed. I didn't want to watch a one-sided affair with one quarterback in.
Right.
So it's important that we protect all players, not just quarterbacks, but what made our game. Listen, you had him right there, and Dick Butkus, rest his soul. You had him right there. You had Mike Ditka on offense, but you had a great illustration of what made the NFL so popular. It was the collisions, the fierceness. I don't want to say brutality because that's not the way we viewed it. It was just rough. It was tough, ferocious.
Right.
And they've taken that away, primarily because of television, because of social media. The focus has gotten so great, and the money on television have grown primarily because of the passing game. And the passing game has to have great passers, And we are in the era right now that we're in the NFL. It's very similar to the era in the early 60s when the AFL was trying to come around and NBC was carrying all the AF games. I watched the AFL games because they threw the football.
Right.
Threw it a lot. The NFL was, run it twice, pass, get a first down, run it twice, pass. And so the AFL brought entertainment. They had the colorful players. And now the NFL pretty much is the AFL. Throw it 35, 40 times. And we got dances, we got showboating, and we got all kinds of stuff going on with these players. And I'm 75. I've had to adjust to this new modern player.
The new way of thinking.
Do you think you could play now? Are you kidding me? I had an NFL star quarterback, a star, and he said we were together in Vegas at a group session, and he said, "TB, you would love playing quarterback in the NFL now. You can't get touched, and you know it." And I'm like, golly, how nice would that be?
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
You would have won 8 Super Bowls. Are you kidding me?
Totally.
Oh, my God. So it's different. I'm glad it's different. And we're not just protecting quarterbacks. Rightfully so, we're protecting everyone. But we still have a great game that's fun to watch.
Sure.
And you can actually do more damage with a shoulder hit than you can a head hit any day of the week. And so we still have all of that.
No. You got to protect everybody. But the other thing too, Terry Bradshaw, is when you look at the game today, one of the things, because look, I'm the old guy on the porch drinking lemonade and bitching. One of the things that makes me crazy is you look at the Bears or you look at the Panthers, you look at teams that are just bottom of the barrel, and you got a lineman that comes through and he makes a sack. And he's walking up the field, beating his chest like he just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, in your era, a guy celebrating like that, your own team would have kicked his butt.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. I don't like it. I watched, was it last night? Someone made a sack or a stop, and he turns his back to his offensive teammates or his defensive teammates and crosses his arms like, see what I just did?
Right.
And they're going up to the line of scrimmage and getting ready to run another play. I never have liked that. I've learned, I was taught growing up, respect people in general, respect your elders. As I played, I respected the people I played against. There was no showboating. There was no Billy White Shoes Johnson started
That's
the
true.
dance. Remember
That's
the
true.
dance?
Yeah.
And we all thought, oh my God, look at that guy. And it was not well received. And now everybody's got a dance. Everybody's got something going on in the end zone. It's I guess it's part of the entertainment package. I personally don't like it, don't care anything for it. But that's the world we live in, and that's the game that's being played in the NFL. I have to accept it and to do my job, so I do, and I just go on. I don't lose any sleep over it.
You're just as entertaining as you've ever been. Don't you ever lose sight of that. Now, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, let's see. We're leaving today for Los Angeles for the show Sunday. And then we'll do the show Sunday. My wife travels with me. I don't like to travel by myself. So she goes everywhere with us. Our kids are married and have kids of their own. And so we spend all our time together, which is great. And then Monday we'll fly to New York, and all the kids are coming up Tuesday, I think. Is that right, babe? Tuesday? Kids are coming Tuesday. Yeah. And so they'll come to New York, and we're all going to spend Thanksgiving with all the kids in New York City.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. That's very
awesome,
cool.
Terry.
And we're taking, our show is, we're doing our Thanksgiving show from New York, and the parade comes right by our set, and so the grandkids, which we have three, fourth on the way. They'll be there on the side and looking at all the decorations and the balloons and stuff like that, and they'll have a blast.
Look at you, living the life.
Yeah, New York, man, it's cool.
I'm gonna give you fans. I'm going to give you fans a Terry Bradshaw fact that nobody knows. My man Joey found this. I did not know this either. Okay. You can impress your family over Thanksgiving because you knew this. Terry Bradshaw, 4-time Super Bowl winner, was once featured in Sports Illustrated for breaking the javelin throw record in high school.
Cool.
About that.
That's right. That's right. Show some respect, Chicago. I mean, that my friend, that right there is a moneymaker.
You know what, Terry? You are the best. Your wife is the best. You are
She's a good
just
lady.
Obviously as amazing off the field as you are on the field. You stood in line at Goombay taking selfies,
Thank you.
autographs. I mean, you are just a
He really inspired a lot of people.
inspiration.
Yeah,
Well,
and along with wishing happy Thanksgiving, and let's do some more of this. Let's get to come back sometime soon. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And all we need is one prediction, and it's not the Super Bowl. It's not the Bears this weekend.
No, they're playing the Lions this week. We don't want to touch that.
No. The only prediction we need from you, and it's a football question.
Okay.
Will Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce last through the holidays? Terry Bradshaw, your thoughts?
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I think right now, first phase of love is just the best. You can't sleep. Your heart races. You keep looking at their picture, and when you're with them, you can't stop touching them. You want to smother them with kisses, and you're just and you hope the first phase goes to the second, and then if you make it through the second, now we're starting to get pretty serious. So I think if the first phase is still going, and hang on, I'll ask Tammy. They want to know if Travis Kelce, she's a Chiefs fan, and Taylor Swift will make it through the holidays as a couple. Absolutely, she said.
Okay.
Oh, Tammy's the best.
All right, we'll take Tammy's word.
Yeah.
There you are, gang. And before we hang up, happy Thanksgiving to everyone on the show.
Thanks,
Andrea, thank you so much for having me in Chicago. You know, it's going to get better. It's just going to take time. Just hang in there, okay?
We
The
love
Steve
you,
Cochran
Terry.
Show, getting
We
the
love
word
you.
from Terry Bradshaw. It's going to get better. We're not putting a date on it. There's no expiration date. All right, buddy, be well. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Thank you.
Love you, Terry.
Say, you know what's funny, too,
He's
is
the best.
he didn't finish off that thought on the third stage and the fourth stage and the fifth stage because Tammy walked in the room.
Tammy is also the best.
Yeah.
Love them.
Ah, God, he sounds great. I'm so glad he's on the other side of cancer. He's got to stay on top of it, like anybody that's dealt with it. You know, he knows.
And inspiring others, too.
But inspiring others,
Fight
that's
the
right.
fight.